Soon shot out of there. Oh.
Is this your idea of paradise?
My dream holiday. I am here. I've got a building site over there. I'm stuck in a hotel and I've booked a beach holiday.
And how an airline tried to curry favour after a 20-hour flight delay.
No, not for breakfast. Not after you've not slept all night. You know, you just don't want a chicken curry. You want to get to Benidorm.
Holidays can make life worth living. We crave for them and we save for them. But sometimes things can go horribly wrong. This is Mary and Sam Veazey from Skegness. And this is Anne Ballard and her brother Richard Goodchild. In September last year, they all booked a package at the Douni village resort in Bulgaria.
We made inquiries about the Hotel Pelican because it sounded brilliant in the brochure.
As long as there's a sunbed for me and a bar for Sam, that's all we go for.
We went because it was my brother's 50th birthday and he had booked to go to Bulgaria.
We thought it would just be nice to have the family together for a nice birthday, knees up.
They were looking forward to using the resort's sports centre and the glorious beach. But things turned sour from the moment they arrived.
Some of the other holiday makers here said, welcome to Stalag 13. We're escaping on Wednesday. How long have you got to do?
They went to check out the sports centre. The pool was already busy.
There was a large pool and a children's pool.
There was a load of clutter of leaves and bits of branches, and then we saw things moving.
There were just hundreds of frogs.
Frogs were very good swimmers because they had the pool to themselves.
And the sports centre had other features not mentioned in the brochure. Leaking water pipes, broken sun lounges, a 15-foot deep open shaft, and finally, goalposts that made soccer very much a game of two halves. They headed back to the Hotel Pelican. At least there the pool looked clean. Sam and Mary Veazey had already been in and out.
There was a little kiddie running around the pool, dipping his hand in the pool all the time. And I thought, no. And the next thing I saw a frog swimming at the side of me and I soon shot out of there. Oh. They weren't huge frogs, you know, we're not talking cane toads here, we're talking little frogs, but frogs all the same. But they were everywhere, believe me.
But others just couldn't keep away from the pool.
Cows walked up and just started drinking out of the pool.
I was thinking, like, well, there can't be much chlorine in the water, or else the cows won't be drinking it and the frogs won't be swimming in it.
Unfenced farmland allowed the cows and other animals to roam around the pool.
We actually couldn't believe our eyes, and the staff just didn't do a thing.
It's not the sort of thing you expect to find cows drinking out of your swimming pool.
There was still the beach. In the brochure, it looked like this. In September, it looked rather different. The disappointed holidaymakers decided it was time to seek out the Balkan Holidays rep.
We went down to the meeting, like, you know, the reps meeting in the morning.
He justified absolutely everything. Oh, it's Bulgaria. It's Bulgaria. It's Bulgaria.
They also complained about their filthy rooms. Mary took matters into her own hands.
I just got my rubber gloves on. I know this is going to sound strange that I had rubber gloves on holiday, but I get prickly heat. and I put my suntan lotion on with rubber gloves. So I got my rubber gloves on and I cleaned the bathroom myself.
The only thing their Bulgarian host seemed anxious to do was bring the season to a premature end.
When these little men came with these little barrows and started wheeling all the potted palms away from round the pool, the only bit of sort of luxury we actually had was these palm trees, and they took them away.
They say every picture tells a story. This is Mary when she arrived. And this is Sam. And this is how they looked 6 days later.
When that plane touched down at Manchester and I got out into the car park and I got my car and I know I was on my way home, I was happy then.
There wasn't one day in that 14 days that I didn't pray for Skegness seafront.
Anne Ballard, Richard Goodchild and the Veseys paid £387 each for their holiday. They've rejected an offer of £100 per person from the company and are fighting on. Balkan Holidays says it would be unprofessional to comment while they're negotiating with the family's solicitor. Frank Barrett of the Mail on Sunday investigates complaints from disappointed holidaymakers. Things seem to be getting worse.
I think we've got to get angrier. I think that people tend to put up with a lot and accept a lot. And we've got to show that we're not going to take it, that we are unhappy about it, and that if one airline and one tour operator performs badly, let's stop booking with them. Let's start booking with people who do a good job and reward good service.
Anger is often directed at travel agents, but even they can suffer a holiday from hell. In Dagenham, Terry Hernandez sells holidays, but she looks forward to her own annual break. She wanted a relaxing fortnight in the sun. So did Andrew Hoyland and Amina Radley from Sheffield. They chose Cayo Largo, a tropical paradise off the shores of Cuba.
I was actually looking at this particular holiday for another customer, and I thought it looked absolutely idyllic.
Paradise Island.
Beautiful sand.
Crystal clear waters.
Absolutely gorgeous.
What they didn't know was that Cayo Largo was expecting another visitor. Hurricane George was already creating havoc, and their destination was apparently in its path.
We were checking in, and we were told there was a 4-hour delay. So I asked why, and the chap said due to the hurricane probably, and started laughing.
Unknown to them, their flight was being rerouted. They were no longer going to Cayo Largo. They were on their way to downtown Havana.
Well, the hotel that they put us in Havana had actually 5 stars on the wall. I wouldn't have given it 1.
The 21-story Neptuno is one of Havana's tallest buildings. The view should have been spectacular.
When we got up in the morning, we opened the curtains and we had a look out, and the view of Havana was unbelievable. There was no beach. It was black. It wasn't a beach, it was mud. You looked to another angle and there was buildings that were being either constructed or demolished. You looked to another side and it was a shanty town.
Building work going on again. Lovely. That's actually a view outside the restaurant. That's supposed to be the beach, it's actually a building site.
The customers were not happy.
We could have accepted 3 days in a lovely place and the rest of our holiday on the island. We would have accepted that, but we can't accept this.
I know, because you were shocked.
This is stealing. This is stealing because we're paid all inclusive, and this is stealing now because they're asking us to pay for drinks and everything, and this is now stealing.
We was told on our first full day there not to leave the building for our own safety, due to it being a run-down area. We could be murdered. Apparently there'd been a few stabbings.
Most evenings we had prostitutes in the lobby just waiting for people to pick them up.
My partner was asked if she wanted marijuana, cocaine, heroin, and We just stood there gobsmacked.
There were other surprises lurking in the hotel's dining room.
We went for breakfast. Lovely experience. There was cold mixed vegetables, there was cold peas.
Cold Brussels sprouts for your breakfast? No, we just don't eat them.
But the peas, I thought, well, go on, I'll give them a try. So I got this big spoon of peas, shoveled them in, put them in. oh, they were off.
But the hotel's other guests, the cockroaches, were prepared to risk their lives to get to the food.
The fruit area was actually, what's the word, frozen. You can actually see some of them actually frozen because they tried screwing across the work surface and they were actually stuck.
And I thought, oh, I fancy some jelly, something cool, because you couldn't get anything hot, so I thought something cool. So I picked the ladle up to get the jelly, but it was runny. It hadn't set. So I thought, well, never mind, as long as it's cold, it'll be something. So I picked it up like that and teamed it. There was cockroaches in the jelly. Oh.
The resident colonies of ants also wanted their fair share of the food.
Well, salads, if lettuce or whatever was there, you would actually see the food sort of moving gently. But when you'd go to take some out and have a look, you'd know why it was moving gently, because it was being transported by the insects.
A fax from Hayes and Jarvis told Andrew and Amina Hurricane George was to blame for the situation. In the meantime, the guests were invited to make full use of the pool, which was being specially filled. And they could also stroll along the nearby beach. The guests thought it couldn't get worse, but it did. In part 2, Hurricane George arrives, but the guests are also blowing up a storm.
This is absolutely diabolical how I've been treated.
And hanging around, how would you feel if your holiday kicked off with a 20-hour delay?
Could have quite easily punched somebody, especially since I were only going for a week anyway.